Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of News You Can Use. I'm your host, Thera Martin Milling, and so glad to be back with you once again at LaSalle TV 56. On our program today, we're going to do something that we like to think we're a specialist at, and that's talking about the community and shining the spotlight on positive organizations and positive leaders in the community. So in our first segment today, we are going to shine the spotlight on Rosalie Cooper. She's the president of the R.A.H. Civic Association. I'll tell you about what R.A.H. means when we come back. And then as we turn the page a little bit later on in our show today, we're going to talk about how do you take care of your pets? How do you take care of your animals, particularly in this cold weather? Now, by the time some of you see the show, we'll be into Women's History Month, the month of March, but it's still cold even in March. So we don't think we're too late with some positive information for you. Lezlie Nann will join us in our second segment. And we'll be back in just a moment as we get things rolling on this edition of News You Can Use. All right, here we go. We're back. Now, if you just turned your television set on, let me just reintroduce myself. I'm Thera Martin Milling. I'm the host of this show. You are watching News You Can Use at LaSalle TV 56, also Verizon Fios Channel 36. So hello, everybody. On our program today, we're shining the spotlight on another special community leader here in Philadelphia, and her name is Rosalie Cooper. Right. And thank you for getting to this show.
Thank you.
I got her here, finally. I have been trying to get Miss Rosalie Cooper to the show for maybe about 6 months or so. And every time I ask her, she gives me an excuse. Well, we got the hook on her today. We got one of her sidekicks with her today. Miss Jerry made for sure she got here. So we're excited to have you.
Thank you.
Yep. And I started smiling as we were coming out of our little teaser to start the show. As I thought back to when did I first meet Miss Rosalie? And of course I remember because it was last summer. You walked me to death in your community as she proudly showed me all around on Allegheny Avenue down there at 32nd, 33rd, 34th down to Ridge Avenue, and took me around and introduced me to everybody who was anybody in her community. Her organization is the Ridge Allegheny Hunting Park Civic Association. Yes. R.A.H. Civic Association for short. So again, I'm so glad that you're able to be here.
Thank you.
Tell our viewing audience, Miss Rosalie, what is it that you do over in that neck of North Philadelphia?
Well, I do things with the kids, the seniors. We go to the movies with the seniors, trying to know all of my seniors. My kids, I take them on a trip. I have business meeting. I meet with the business in the area. And trying to bring Allegheny back at 35th and Allegheny to 30th and Allegheny. With Pep Boys in the area, McDonald's, we've been trying to work together fixing up the neighborhood.
Yeah, trying to make it better. One of the improvements that you made, and maybe some people don't get it, but your organization, R.A.H. Civic Association, decided we want to have something that claims our piece of this city, that says who we are, that people can look and see a sign, but not just a sign, the specially designed banners that have your name, R.A.H., and something about love is on the banner too, loving your community.
Yes, loving the community, loving paradise. And the other things that we've been doing, we're trying to do our lots now, to fix up the lots to make them look really nice in the neighborhood, because lots have a tendency making the neighborhood look bad.
You're talking about vacant lots.
Vacant lots, okay. Yes.
Now, would these be vacant lots that are owned by people, or are these vacant lots owned by the city, or is it a mixture of both?
It's a mixture of both. And we're working on that now, and to make paradise look really nice.
Do you ever get discouraged though? Because I remember, let me back up, rewind my tape of life a little bit more. I didn't just meet you last summer for the first time. No. It was about 3 summers ago. I was doing a special program with Allegheny West Foundation and their summer youth employment program. And we had a crew of youth, and we came over to one of your vacant lots right behind where you live.
Right.
And we You had already cleaned it, so you had made it easy for us.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and lie on TV and say we cleaned. We didn't clean. You had already done that part. But we laid down the mulch and then some planting. Now, did that stay all right and clean, or did people come behind you and start dumping again?
No,
trashing?
it stayed clean. It's still clean. You know, we're gonna.
Okay, the people over there are scared of you. That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
No, we just work hard on trying to keep it clean.
But Ms. Rosalie, I'm just saying, there have been any number of cleanup projects that I've been a part of as a volunteer in different parts of the city, not even my own neighborhood, other parts of the city, helping people out. And then you go by like 2 weeks later and you see a big field where, you know, we had 40 volunteers, we're picking up empty crack vials, empty 40 bottles, all kinds of crap, diapers that people just toss, Pampers and stuff. And then you come back a couple weeks later and you see where people have dumped in trash again. And that really makes me upset.
No, but
makes you want to give up almost.
But we haven't had that problem with the lot. We've just been keeping it clean. And this summer, I'm getting ready to really do some remodeling to it, some more flowers and lights, and put lights in the garden and make it some more benches for the seniors can come and sit in it. You know, so these are the things that we're doing. And like I said, with the kids, like I had a luncheon with Curtis Jones with the kids.
Councilman Curtis Jones.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the kids was able to tell him exactly what they wanted for the neighborhood.
What did they say?
Well, they told him that they want to keep the neighborhood clean. They want a place to play more. And we're trying to find more things for they can do in the neighborhood.
Now, what was the age group of these young people that came out to lunch with you and Councilman Curtis Jones?
We have, they was like 7-year-old, 10, and 12.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. So they want more things that they can do that can be fun.
Fun, right, in the neighborhood.
Yeah, well, that sounds good. I know last summer you also took kids on a trip, a bus trip?
Yeah, we took them to Clementon Park, and we're going to do it again this year. They had, their food was free. They didn't have to worry about bringing lunch.
You paid for the bus too, didn't you?
Yeah, I paid for the bus.
When I say you, I mean your organization.
Yes. We paid for the bus, we paid for the food. And we had like 100 kids. And that's what we did with them. And
now, next summer, if you need a chaperone, I haven't been to Clementon Park since I was probably in my 30s. Yeah, it used to be a lot of fun.
Yes.
Yeah. So you do a lot of stuff, though. I mean, so you're working with the youth in the community.
Yes.
You have special programs with our seniors.
Yes.
You take them out to eat. You take them to the movies.
Yes.
What, 2, 3 times, 4 times a year?
Yeah. Yes.
You took them to see the butler. I know you told me
I
that.
took them to see the butler, and like I said, we went out to Country Buffet. You know, we did one day, we did lunch. The next week we did breakfast. So these are the things that I do with the community. I work with helping at St. James sometimes with the kids in St. James. You know, so that's a school in our area. And it's really nice, a nice, beautiful
so again,
school.
For people who are viewing this program, I think several things can come out of this. I would hope that people might be inspired, whether they live over in your area of North Philadelphia or not, wherever they're living, if they're watching this show, that they would be inspired. Hey, we can do some of this kind of stuff too. We can reach out and help our seniors. We can reach out and help our young people. We can say we need to claim our neighborhood and get some signs up that, or some banners like you did, which are absolutely beautiful. If you all are riding down Allegheny Avenue or Hunting Park Avenue or a little piece of Ridge Avenue and you look up and you see this beautiful purple and white sign, R.A.H. Civic Association. This lady here and her organization, they made it happen.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and you do community meetings. You have business meetings with business owners in your area.
Yes, we meet with the business owners, at least try to do it every 2 to 3 months. We sit down and see what they want and what we can help them with. And the community meetings, we have the community meetings once a month.
Yeah.
And
so like the last community meeting that you invited me to, you had PGW there.
Yes.
A meeting before that I came to, you had the water department people there. So information that residents can run with and use to help them.
Yes. We had the weatherization program comes out to try to help them, you know, get some help with the weatherization.
Yeah. So if more people want to know about Rosalie Cooper and the RAH Civic Association, what you do, maybe they need some mentoring. Maybe they want to start an organization similar to yours in another part of the city, but they're kind of nervous or they're not sure they know what all to do. They can sit and talk with you and Miss Jerry and some of the other good people you have on your team, right?
Right.
You're willing to share information?
Yeah, I'm willing to share.
Well, share your number.
215-696-4832.
Okay, say it again.
215-696-4832.
And I should know it by heart because I call this lady all the time and I just went blank in my brain, so I couldn't do anything with that. But anyway, I do thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
And I'm just so glad for all that you're doing, that you've allowed me to be a part of some of what you're doing. I feel real proud about the work that I see you doing. And I'm saying keep up the good work and don't let anybody discourage you.
Thank you.
All righty. We will continue with this edition of News You Can Use in just a moment. And then we're going to shine the spotlight on a very special lady who's going to tell us about caring for pets properly, particularly during the cold weather. I think she'll give us some tips on taking care of them during warm weather, too. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
It's about inner strength. So I push myself. That's why I serve in the United States Coast Guard. I train with the best. A team that shares my drive and commitment. We collect intelligence, guard our shores against drug smugglers, and keep our waterways safe, because our nation expects more.
If you expect more, maybe you were born ready. Find out at gocoastguard.com.
A diagnosis of breast cancer changes your life forever.
She told me I needed a mastectomy.
I was scared.
Absolutely in shock.
But you need to know that you're not alone. There are teams of medical professionals, support groups, and therapists, and those who can help you plan for life after cancer. Before you undergo surgery for breast cancer, get the facts. Make sure you know your breast reconstruction options. For more information, visit broaddayusa.org.
We have a job to do out here today.
To be a winning team, you have to work like a winning team.
My team depends on me.
And my team is 50,000 strong. Looks like a lot of work's going into this.
This is what it feels like to be part of a team.
A winning team.
The Action Team.
Get in on the action at actionteam.org. Are you in?
The environment is my passion. Every day, I live for the outdoors and all of its challenges. That's why I enlisted in the Coast Guard. Now, I serve to protect the environment and defend my country. It's like I was born for this.
Were you born ready for a greater challenge? Find out at gocoastguard.com.
We are back as we continue with this edition of News You Can Use. And as promised, we've got an expert sitting by our side. I'm so glad that Lezlie Nann is able to be here on behalf of the PSPCA. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're a foster volunteer.
That's correct.
Wow. I'm not sure if I've ever heard that terminology before, but I love it already because I'm a pet lover, and I believe that pets are like people, and they should be treated properly.
Absolutely are.
Yes, yes. So now tell us about what you do as a foster volunteer with the SPCA.
Well, we many of our cats and kittens come from the SPCA, but we also have been doing this for so long that we have many people that know that if they find a cat or kitten or a mother, that they can bring them to us, and we will nurse them to health, bottle feed them if necessary, and we will keep them until they're ready to be adopted. We've rescued and adopted out between 400 and 500. So we are really
that
the
is
cat.
a large
we're
number.
the crazy cat ladies.
Wow, but
Yeah.
in such a good way, and taking care of them properly and making for sure that they have everything that they need.
Yes, and we also have dogs as well. So.
Well, you know, I was sharing with you before we even started taping about one of my concerns, and I
Yes.
won't go public with that on the air because I'm not trying to really upset anyone, but I guess there comes a point if you see something that is just really glaringly bothering you because in your gut you just know that it's wrong. Let's say you see an animal being mistreated, being left out in the cold, you know, for more than 5 hours
Absolutely.
at a time. What can somebody do?
Well, there is a special, actually, when you call into the SPCA, there is a special line that you can be connected to report any abuse or neglect. And of course, I would recommend that anyone that ever sees an animal being mistreated does that.
So, okay, there's leaving them out in the cold. If you see an owner of a pet just beating their pet.
Well, and many people hoard animals, unfortunately. Some of the animals that we have rescued have been brought into the SPCA because they've been reported. And yes, the abuse is really sad. It's tragic. And neglect.
So there is something that people can do who are on the outside looking in, but really know this is wrong. There is a number they can pick up the phone, they can call and ask for help.
Yes, the PSPCA, and we deal with. They are on Erie Avenue, and we have also dealt with ACT, which is actually a separate organization. Their relationship is not clear to me, but the PSPCA now is a non-kill shelter, and it recently has become one, which is wonderful. So if you're unable to take care of your animal, if you bring them to ACT, there's a chance that they will not ever leave ACT. If you bring them to the PSPCA for a small fee, they will take the animal, and you can be sure that they will take care of it and adopt it out.
Okay, and that's one of the reasons why I guess we have the 2 rescue Yorkies that we have right now. But the second rescue Yorkie, when we got it, was pregnant, and we didn't know it. My husband and I didn't know it. And I think the Yorkie was in the house for about 4 or 5 days, and I'm feeling her stomach, and I'm like, honey, feel her stomach. We're looking, you know, she's pregnant. And, you know, some people in our family say, well, you get rid of him right now to the SPCA. And we were thinking that the dog would be killed.
Yes.
Or that the puppies might, you know. So we didn't want to do that, so we kept them, and we found them all good homes. And that feels so good. And I'm like the grandmother who keeps up. I mean, I actually talk to the people who have those 5 puppies regularly, well, one of which is my daughter, and we find out how they're doing.
Yes, well, we still get pictures, and at Christmas time from people we've adopted. We adopted 2, 4, 5 years ago.
Yes,
they keep in touch and they refer. A lot of our adopters are referrals at this point.
I think I heard one of the ladies who came in today, in fact, your friend who came with you, again, before we were taping, she said, you know, some people, it's ignorance, they don't know. So tell us some of the things we should know about, you know, this time of year and having pets outside, and how long can they stay?
Well, of course, I absolutely believe that pets should be able to come inside in the severe weather. But if for some reason that's not possible, they should have a warm shelter, but a shelter that is dry, so it's not out in the elements, and that it's not any bigger than where the animal, dog or cat, can stand up, sit down, and turn around. No bigger than that, because a larger shelter is not going to keep, they keep warm by their own heat.
Okay, all right, then you just taught me something new that I didn't know. That's a good thing to know.
Yes,
okay.
And the other very important thing in the freezing weather is that you check that they have water, because it freezes. And animals, of course, need a great deal of water, so you should always make sure that.
But give me temperatures, like
well, anything below freezing, but even in the 40s,
32 degrees.
Well, some of our cats, our dogs are of course inside outside, but some of our cats are inside outside, some are not, they're only inside. But they let us know. If it's too cold, they'll stand at the door and say, "No, Mom, I'm not going out
My
today."
dogs don't go out when they hear it raining. They don't go
Yeah,
out. They just stop right at the door.
So they know. And the other important thing about, I think it's a wonderful thing if you have a basement and you have an outdoor cat or dog, to put in a little doggy door or cat door so that they can come in and out of the basement.
What about the raccoons and all of that?
Oh, we've never...
We have them in our neighborhood. They're bigger than my dogs.
Really?
They take over the street.
I've never heard of one coming into
they walk down, they stroll down the street. They,
yeah, we have possums and
I'm afraid that they'll come in if...
Oh, I understand. But if it's possible, especially for a cat and dog, because the basement is warmer than the outdoors, of course.
Okay. Now, stray cats.
Oh.
And I hear them crying when it's, 19 degrees, 12 degrees outside. And I'm like...
Well, there are other rescue groups besides the PSPCA that you can contact and ask to have them caught. And they have a crate where they can actually catch feral animals, and at least they can be brought in and be altered, spayed or neutered, so that the population doesn't continue to grow. It's
almost impossible to adopt.
It's a very difficult
alley cats because they're very wild.
Well, we have 4 right now that came from a colony, and we've had 2 of them for about 6 months, and they're still not ready. And the other 2, we've had about 4 months. But with time, they'll be ready to go, and they'll be adopted. We'll keep them as long as we need to.
Well, I thank you for sharing that information. That's all good. People can always go to the website. The SPCA website is excellent. Sometimes I'll go on there just to sort of
They're
look
a wonderful
and see what's
organization.
going on and who's there, and the cute little puppies and kittens that are there. But also other kinds of good information is on the SPCA website as well.
Yes, it is.
And I know recently they had a discount on shots and all that. My husband and I were right there waiting in the line on Erie Avenue.
Oh,
You were
yes.
there. And ended up
full.
making a lot of friends and talking to everybody else who was in the line and looking at all the different kinds of dogs and cats that were coming in for that particular service. So it was a good day. And I thought a good experience, even though we had to wait. So I'll say to our viewers, come with your patience when you take advantage of these opportunities for discount pricing or free stuff at the SPCA or whatever. You got to come with your patience because it's not going to necessarily be like right away. But it's
and there
a
are
good thing.
Also other organizations that have low-cost spay and neuter programs, and you can just go online.
Morris Animal Shelter being one of them.
Morris is one. There are some that are even less expensive, I think, than Morris. And another thing, if I could say, that anyone that is thinking about adopting a dog or a cat, really keep in mind that this is a 10 to 20-year commitment. And because so many animals, they adopt them when they're cute and little, and a year later they're brought back. So it's really something you have to be committed to.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's like having more children.
Exactly.
It really is. Vacations a lot. Think about it. You got to do something with them. And for us, we now look for hotels that accept, dogs, because we really don't like to leave our dogs behind, and they're just spoiled. Like,
well, we have a full-time pet sitter when we go away, so she stays at the house. And they love her. They know her.
So, is there a phone number, a 1-800 number for SPCA?
Well, if anyone is looking for a kitten or cat to adopt, they can certainly contact us at, may I say, 215-477-8887. And you may speak to either Brenda or myself, Lezlie.
Give it to us again, Lezlie.
215-477-8887.
Okay, some final quick tips before we do run out of time. I think we got about 2.5 minutes to go. So we talked about the winter and how to address and deal with our doggies and cats in the wintertime. Once the weather starts to flip and change and starts getting pretty, are there any tips that we need to look out for?
Of course, you need to always make sure that your animals have water, but in the severe heat, it's important to make them comfortable, allow them indoors, and make sure that you have a shaded spot for them. And the other important thing, in severe cold or hot weather, never ever leave an animal in a car. even in the cold weather.
Right.
Even if you think it's going to be 5 minutes, do not leave an
So
animal.
treat them
in-
just like you would your child.
Exactly.
And for people who leave their children in the car, what are you thinking? So don't leave your children and don't leave your pets.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Thank
Well, those are
you.
good tips. I got a final one for you.
Okay.
Question.
Uh-huh.
How do you keep them from getting fleas? Is there any secret to that?
Yes.
I will love you forever if you can give me this.
Frontline, Advantix, and Revolution are the 3 best. And
Dawn, dishwashing.
Dawn, well, yes. If an animal has fleas, initially, that will definitely kill them. But then they should be treated every 30 to 45 days. They say that you should give it to them and put it on in the wintertime, but really fleas die in the wintertime.
Yes, that's what I thought. That's
but they do recommend that you use it year-round. But that's really the only way, and that is very, very effective.
And that's a great tip to leave on. Thank you again for coming so very much. We hope that you can find some wonderful homes for these kittens you have. Throw out your number again real quick.
215-477-8887, and we always have kittens.
All right,
Okay.
we love to hear it. Thank you, Lezlie Nann, for coming on our program. Now, I want you all to know on our viewing audience that Dr. Donnie Patterson, a medical doctor at Einstein Medical Center, she produced this segment for me. She booked our guests. We thank you, Dr. Donnie. Dr. Donnie will be joining us on our next show, and we've got some more great information to share at that time. We want you to keep watching the programs here at LaSalle TV 56 and also at Verizon Fios Channel 36. I'm Thera Martin Milling, and we appreciate you so very much. One final note that we will share with you before we say goodbye, and that is that we're up on another political season here in Pennsylvania. Now is the time to register to vote if you've not already done so. If you're at the age of 18 or over, you can register to vote. If you married recently and changed your name, you need to register to vote. You can go online to committeeof70.org and register on their website. You can pick up a registration form from any elected official's office, city council person, state representative. If you don't know who your elected official is, you need to grow up and find out. Political process is a part of what makes this nation run. You gotta be involved. People died. They put their lives on the line so that we could have the right to vote. So please do not waste that opportunity. Make your voice be heard. Make your vote be counted. Register and vote. And then we come to our primary election in May. Make sure you get to the polls and do what you got to do. Thank you for listening. And that's all I've got for you today. Keep your dial here at 56 LaSalle TV. Take care.